There was a man who spent his time in his workshop building wind chimes for a living. Not the kind that you can find in regular stores. His were intricate and personal. Each one was tuned by hand, crafted with care by him. He didn't just build them, he listened to them. He'd sit for hours, waiting for the right gust of wind to dance through the metal and string. He said each chime had its own voice, and that the wind was just helping it speak. He loved his craft. He loved making these chimes. But over time, people started visiting his store, and with each guest came a suggestion. That one's too sharp. That one's kind of dull. Why not make them like this? Why not make them sound like that? Every time he adjusted. At first it was just a little bit. Soon, without even realizing it, his mornings weren't for listening to the chimes anymore. He spent his mornings fixing what everyone else suggested. He started tuning the chimes before anyone arrived, preparing them according to the past criticism. And at some point, he stopped noticing when the wind blew at all. Next thing you know, years go by and he doesn't even love the craft anymore. One day, a child wandered into his workshop and pointed at one of his old, dusty chimes sitting in the corner. It was crooked, a little rusted, untouched for years. The child said, "I miss when you made chimes like that. Those were your best." The man froze. He spent so much of his time fixing his chimes, trying to be understood by people visiting his shop, that he forgot the ones that helped him understand himself. Whether you know it or not, you're a lot like him. You've made decisions that you don't want to make. You've worn outfits you don't feel confident in. You've bit your tongue when you've wanted to scream your opinion. And if we're being honest, you don't even know who you are when no one's watching anymore. Because somewhere along the way, you started living for the approval of people who aren't paying attention. You wanted the approval of people who don't even respect their own reflection. And yet you still care what they think. Why? Because approval feels like safety. But the truth is, caring what people think isn't kindness or humility or maturity. It's survival instinct. If you never unlearn that, you'll spend your whole life being agreeable and never truly be alive. You were taught to care what people think before you could even walk. Don't cry. Don't be too loud. Don't be too soft. Don't embarrass us. Don't disappoint. Your value became a reflection of other people's comfort. And the longer you lived like that, the more you forgot what you actually thought. Caring what people think is how we first learn to feel safe. It's how we earn love, keep friends, avoid punishment. But eventually, it becomes a prison. And now you're an adult building a life based on imaginary judgments from people who barely even know themselves. You're not afraid of rejection. You're afraid of abandonment. You're not addicted to praise. You're addicted to permission. In a 2024 study by the Pew Research Center, 71% of Gen Z and millennials admitted that their fear of judgment influences most of their life decisions. Not some decisions, most of them. Where they live, who they date, what they post, what they stay silent about, what they talk about. But even worse, 54% of them say they don't even realize it's happening until much later. We're not living. We're performing for an audience that isn't even paying attention. You think you're being strategic by people pleasing, but really, you're just hiding. You're hiding your opinions to stay likable. You're hiding your creativity to stay relatable. The more you change to please others, the more they forget who you really are. And eventually, so will you. Because when you build your identity on approval, you become a mirror for everyone else's comfort instead of a voice for your own truth. And mirrors don't get remembered. They just reflect whatever's in front of them. So how do you stop caring about what people think? It's not by isolating yourself or burning bridges. You start by remembering the moments you felt most like yourself. You start by asking yourself, where in my life do I stay silent to be accepted? Who am I performing for? And what truth do I avoid because I'm scared it'll make someone uncomfortable? But the most important question of all, what would I say, wear, create, or do with my life if nobody applauded or rejected me? Respect isn't about being liked. It's about being felt and still choosing to be you. And when you start living by your truth instead of by other people's preferences, you don't just feel safe. You finally remember who you are.